Hello, dear students, and welcome to EduTap. So, guys, we're back with another strategy session for NABARD Grade A, Phase 1 Descriptive English. Phase 2 Descriptive English for 2021. And, guys, today we are going to take up a very important and very debatable topic, that is Pressy versus summary. So, guys, many students believe that Pressy is similar to summary, and many students believe they are the same things, that Pressy and making a summary is a similar notion or it's a similar skill. But that's not true, guys. Today we are going to learn what is the difference between a Pressy and a summary, and you basically in the exam have to write a Pressy and not a summary. So that is a way to improve your score in the exam. So let's begin the session, guys. So basically, guys, let's understand contextually that what is the basic difference between a Pressy and a summary, and then I'll give you the real meaning in a layman's language, right? So about Pressy, so the definition of Pressy goes like this: a small miniature of any piece of writing which provides the absolute main point of that writing or article can be defined as Pressy. So guys, precise is also called, it's also called precise, or Pressy is a Latin word which basically means abstract, contraction of something. So Pressy basically is defined as a small miniature within the word defined word limit, a small miniature of any piece of writing which provides the absolute main point of that writing or article can be defined as Pressy. On the other hand, now I'm reading the definition of a summary, guys. Now read the second paragraph now. The summary can be described as a brief. It can be described as a brief of all the recorded points in any article. So basically the difference is, guys, Pressy is basically the absolute central point, the gist, the crux of the passage. That is called the Pressy. And a summary is the brief of all the recorded points of an article, that all the different points that have been discussed in an article, if you summarize all those points, put them together and shorten them, that is called a summary. But Pressy, on the other hand, is only the miniature, small miniature of the absolute main point of that article. So in simple terms, what it can be defined as is, you know, let's say the passage is the body, right? So how we can differentiate between a summary and a Pressy? So if body is the passage, then a summary would be the skeleton of the body, right? Which has head, skull, then shoulders, then blades, then your rib cage, then torso, and then your legs, spine, and everything. So all those details, that is called summary. But Pressy would be called soul of the body. So if you understand what I mean, guys, I hope this will make it easier for you to understand. If body is the passage, then skeleton is the summary, and soul is the Pressy of the passage. So Pressy can be basically described as the sole purpose of the author to write an article, right? For example, if an author writes an article about you know let's say he writes about the state of agriculture, right, post green revolution in the country, right? So he writes a lot of points that this has happened over the time, right? After green revolution we became self-sustained, we became self-dependent, right? And in terms of production of grain, right? So all that had been mentioned, but then he also mentioned the adverse effects of using indiscriminatingly the pesticides in the soil, and the water erosion, soil erosion, then global warming, and droughts, floods. So these erratic catastrophes, those have also been mentioned. So skeleton, that means summary, would be if you take out the important point of every paragraph and then put those points together, right? That is called a summary. But Pressy would be the sole purpose of the author to write this passage. Now Pressy would be, why has the author written this passage? Because he wants to inform us, or he wants to convey the message that we still have a lot to focus, we still have a lot to work on the agriculture sector, in the agriculture sector, to make the livelihood of farmers and this particular industry better in India, right? So that soul is, the purpose, the zest, the absolute main point, that is considered a Pressy, guys. Got it? So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So now let's read what is the complete meaning and what is the how do you understand the difference between a Pressy and a summary. So a small miniature of any piece of writing which provides the absolute main point of that article or writing can be defined as Pressy. Now, it must consist of an appropriate heading. Guys, always remember you have to give a title when you write a Pressy. So writing a title is utmost important, right? It carries marks with it. So it has to be an appropriate heading or title, and it also maintains the order of the original piece written. So it maintains the order, means it maintains the original tone, the sequence that the passage has been written. The Pressy will also be written in the same pattern, right? It will start with an opening statement, that is the central theme. Then it will cover all the, it will focus the core points that have been discussed in the passage, right? And their implications, whatever been mentioned, and then it would also have a conclusion. So title, introduction, then the whole story in your own words, and then should also be a conclusion. That is what we call a Pressy. So it must consist of an appropriate heading. It should also maintain the order of the original piece written. Now, the essential points are usually mentioned here in Pressy. See, that's what's the crux. The essential points are usually mentioned here in Pressy. The tone of the speech used is the same throughout the read. So you have to create an organic whole, like a short story of your own, where you follow the same tone when you are expressing your understanding of the passage, when you are presenting your Pressy. So Pressy is basically what have you understood after reading the passage. You have to eliminate the rhetorical or the what do you call it, the unimportant part, right? And you have to keep only the gist, right? What is the important point behind that? So reading behind the lines, that is what we call Pressy. So in Pressy, the conclusion is a must at the end, which will justify the other main points described, right? So it must be the the center of the whole passage. That is what we call a Pressy, guys. Got it? And summary. Now let's also read about summary so that you can differentiate. The summary can be described as a brief. What is a brief? Brief description, right? Brief of all the recorded points in any article. Any passage or article with a shortened variation depicts a summary. So any passage or article with a shortened variation depicts a summary, right? So it is a variation from the passage. So it will only keep the highlights where the headline is necessarily not so important. So guys, in a summary, we do not give a title, but which is not compulsory, but in a Pressy, title is compulsory. The not only headline, but also the order. You don't have to actually follow the order of the passage as well while writing a summary. But in Pressy, you have to follow the order of the whole passage, like a short story, how it has been conveyed by the author. But in summary, the not only headline but also the order needs not to be maintained. So you do not have to follow the order, and you do not have to give a title to it, covering all the important points. So you have to cover only all the important points. You do not have to follow the order. You do not have to give it a title, right? So it's basically like a report, right? For example, there was a function, and if you're writing a report, the function began at this, right? Then the chief guest arrived at this point. Then the first set of show was this, followed by this. Then there was dancing, then there was singing, then there was competition of elocution, and at the end there was a final speech by the principal. Then the winners were announced. Then there was prize distribution, and it ended. So this is called a summary. Sorry. But on the other hand, writing a Pressy would mean, you're writing the soul, that such functions are very important for the co-curricular development of the students. Many students take part in such activities, and many are affected by this by this function. People learn to speak in the public, right? Students presenting dance and elocution, they improve their presentation skills and communication skills. So that is called a Pressy. Getting the difference, guys? Now I think I've clearly clearly differentiated between a Pressy and a summary. Got it? So a summary is a brief description of the passage, whereas Pressy is the the central point, the theme, the gist, the crux of the passage that is conveyed in your own words while giving it a title and maintaining the order of the story, right? That is the basic difference between Pressy and a summary, guys. Now, few key points to remember how to differentiate a Pressy from a summary. Now, Pressy, it must have a heading. Summary, a heading is not that is required. Okay. Now, it is a small replica of the article. It is a brief description of the article. So replica and description, I hope you understand what I mean. What's the difference? Replica is you're saying the same thing but keeping the crux. On the other hand, summary is the brief description of all the important points, whereas Pressy is not all the points, it is only the central theme, and everything revolves around that central theme. That is called a Pressy. Alright, the order should always be maintained in a Pressy. No need for maintaining the order in a summary. That's true. It contains the main or only the essential points. It covers all the important points. See, that's the difference, guys. The same tone is used throughout the Pressy. If you're using it in a third person perspective, you have to keep on writing like that. But in a summary, it is expressed in terms of reader's own words. So it is presented in terms of reader's own words. So it would be telling you what happened. So summary and the Pressy, that is the difference. The main idea has to be extracted in a Pressy. The idea is already extracted in the shortest form possible, right? Because you are providing all the details. Now it contains a conclusion as well. You have to give a conclusion which has been conveyed in the passage. But in a summary, not every time ends with a conclusion. Summary does not require a conclusion, guys. See, so Pressy is basically a short summarized story of the original passage, of the central theme, consisting of the central theme. But summary is a brief description of all the points. So I think, guys, we subconsciously, I think you will accept it, that I think in the name of Pressy, we have been making summary. Yes, guys, if you've been trying to do so. So what you basically think is you just have to bring the passage to 1/3 by highlighting all the important points mentioned in all the paragraphs. That is summary. So Pressy, if you want to score really high in Pressy, this is what you have to follow, guys. So you have to make a short story of your own, conveying the central theme of the passage, the central main idea, and whatever revolves around that idea has to be maintained in the story, and then you have to give the conclusion as well, and with a title. Got it? So that is the difference between a Pressy and a summary, guys. Now, there are a few similarities also between a Pressy and a summary, and that is why we have been confused, because we have never been told the difference between the both, right? But now you have to understand, because this is a paper where competition is cutthroat, and you have to be in the top 150 in the country, guys, or 180 in the country for that matter. So please work really, really hard and work smart. Right? So what are the similarities? Now, both Pressy and summary provide the, not just, it should be gist, sorry. So both Pressy and summary provide the gist of the original work in a shortened form. One may not contain the headings or the conclusions, but the point remains the same. So they're similar in both, in a way, because both provide the gist of the original work, right? Summary in brief descriptions, Pressy in the central theme. So, but they both provide the gist of the passage in a way, right? No, second point, no addition of idea occurs. See, the fact remains the same, all without changing. No factual idea slide into the article. See, so no addition of idea occurs. You cannot add anything from your outside knowledge or something that is not given in the passage. You cannot add both in summary or in Pressy. So the core concept remains the same without changing, and no factual idea should slide into the article. So basically no ideas can be added into your Pressy or summary. Basically, guys, you have to remove the unimportant part, right? Where the author has elaborated what he's trying to convey. You have to remove that part and keep the core only, right? So that is common in both. If we see in a structured way, we can mark that 1/3 of both the original texts in Pressy and summary maintain the order and complete the sentences meaning. So they're both similar in a way because both of them have similar word limit and they all cover everything that is given in the passage. But the difference is way of presentation. In summary, you present it in brief description of all the points, Pressy, it revolves around only the central point, the main point of the passage. Got it, guys? So guys, it was very important to tell you what is the difference between a summary and a Pressy, and I hope you will follow the same from now onwards. Got it? So guys, thank you so much for this session. I hope these sessions will prove beneficial for your preparation. So thank you for joining in, and thank you for entrusting us with your with your support. So having said that, I wish you all the very best for your endeavors, and keep on working hard, and happy learning to all of you guys. And if you wish to contact us for anything, please feel free to contact us on our number 8146207241, or you can also drop us an email at hello@edutap.co.in. Thank you so much. See you guys and take care. Bye bye.